Well, I think communication is no longer what it used to be. In every sphere of our life, there are digital technologies. Look at mobile phone penetrations everywhere, even in Africa. Uh, Content is so varied. Images, sound, movies, everything can be received on a mobile phone. Go back a few years, this was unthinkable of. And of course, now we're in the middle of the app revolution. For everything, you have an app. And it basically is the speed, it's the quantity of data that is transmitted, and it is the uh, possibility of harnessing these digital tools, like I said, in almost every sphere of our life, whether it be entertainment, whether it be access to education, which is what we're talking about today, information. And ultimately, I think the key issue is what we call in UNESCO building knowledge societies. How harnessing tools, harnessing information, you can build knowledge societies which are sustainable. Today people talk about smart societies, smart cities, but essentially what it means is that it's driven by knowledge. So I think digital technologies have, perhaps the key role of digital technologies have been to completely transform the production and the sharing of knowledge. It's always people. Machines themselves were invented by people. So what is very interesting to see is how social uses of innovations develop. Because every time you discover one innovation, you forget that 100 innovations never made it to the light of day. So a lot of funding is pumped into innovations because the market has a insatiable thirst for new technologies, new applications, especially by the younger generation. So I think what we need to concentrate on is what are these technologies being used for? That's again something which we don't think much about. Why are they created in the first place? And what are they being used for in real terms? And to what extent are these users having an impact on people's livelihoods, which is crucial. Because a lot of the tools that are there don't have any impact on people's livelihoods. And one of the things that have been seen in research is that a lot of people don't access to the internet because they don't find anything meaningful online. To give you a very simple example, which is again something which UNESCO is dealing with, the whole question of languages. There are about 7,000 official languages, about only 450 are online. And so a huge percentage of the world's population is perhaps consuming content or not consuming content which is relevant to them in local languages and which has an impact on their livelihoods. So this is again a matter of concern. What are these technologies offering us? In many areas we've seen phenomenal success of and progress in, for example, education, case in point, healthcare, environmental monitoring, technologies for persons with disabilities. It's having a really significant impact on people's lives. But there are other areas which are entertainment, etc. Of course, it's part of life, and where you don't see the full, I would say, potential of technologies being harnessed. Well, heritage is, has been and will continue to be, our root, our roots rather. I think not sufficient attention has been given in the past to questions of heritage because, ultimately a monument is a monument. You go and visit it and you say, wow, it's lovely, but people don't realize that there is a whole history attached to it. There are cultural practices around these heritage sites. And in my view, we are not doing sufficient work, especially in terms of education, to tell the younger generation, people, why is heritage important. And I think that is a big lacuna we have, that today's generation, you take documentary heritage, for example. Firstly, kids don't read that much anymore, actual books. So an ancient document, for them, has no interest. And this is where we are trying to do now with our Memory of the World program, not only to create greater awareness, because if you see those documents, they're stunning. Beethoven's Seventh Symphony is one of the documents on the list. You have Nelson Mandela's arrest warrant. We have ancient manuscripts from Iran and China and So it's just a treasure trove of documents. But what we need to do now is to reach out to the younger generation uh, through their tools. The younger generation won't read volumes of books about heritage. But if we can make mobile apps, we can make games and quiz, make the thing come alive, I think the younger generation will catch on. I think it's our responsibility to take this to them rather than expecting them to come to us. So I think it has to be heritage, should be a part of all curricula. Increasingly, you see even the education systems, they have become so degree-oriented, so job-oriented, that you lose sight of larger things. Even when we were kids, I remember we used to have these courses called civics course, where they teach you basic values and so on. It's all gone now. Nobody is teaching civics anymore. It's too much of physics, mathematics, chemistry, and what have you. So I think the education system itself is perhaps the most powerful tool that we have to inculcate appreciation and understanding of the importance of heritage. Well, I think it's an excellent initiative. They have started barely 3 years ago, and already the amount of documents which are there in the repository is quite phenomenal. And obviously, when you open out access to education, and this is not India which has started it. I mean, all the major universities in the US, for example, Harvard, Stanford, all of them are opening out their resources to people. So a student in Africa can sit in a little hut with an internet connection and follow courses given by the best professors of the world. So it opens out access. It gives people the possibility of having quality educational resources, because that's again a big challenge in education. Poorer countries don't even have quality materials, quality teachers. So this gives you a chance to actually go anywhere in the world, any corner of the world, and access the very high quality resources. So I think NDL is a very, very good step forward for India. And many other countries have, of course, the same kind of institutions. And they have been fundamental in transforming education. Of course, it's still early days, but I think once really more and more people jump onto the open access bandwagon, we will see really a transformational leap in terms of quality of education. UNESCO has been working with them before already, but now that they're coming slightly of age in terms of quality of resources, I think we can help them to build capacity, train more and more people, but also get UNESCO and DL together to help other institutions which don't have the capacity, which don't have the infrastructure. And I think this is going to be the challenge for us in the days to come, because it's okay to have one National Digital Library in a famous institution like IIT Kharagpur, but is that the case everywhere else? It's not. Like I said, look, for me it's absolutely common sense that all publicly funded research should be openly accessible. But you heard in the session today how many challenges we are confronted to. All kinds of autonomy of institutions. So even if the government has a policy, universities are autonomous institutions, they may wish to choose an open access policy or not. And there are also practical issues. Students are autonomous. They can say, no, I don't want to publish my articles open access. But I think generally we have to start somewhere. I think that has started already. But generally the reputation of open access journals have to be of a certain standard, like in many other countries. They are fully peer-reviewed journals, excellent quality. When they go open access, then people say, okay, that's the way to go. But when you have poor quality research also, open access can become a fast-track way of getting something published. So quality continues to be a very key issue here.